Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Project Octane. It's been almost 10 months since we actually talked about bodywork, and back then, all we did was take our 3D prints, slap them on the car, tape some of them together, and that was pretty much it for that video. A couple months later, we showed up in Fort Worth, Texas, and had them all magically attached, and never really had a good opportunity to show you how. So we'll start out with that. And we're not going to do anything crazy. We just have some steel tabs that are going to go on the chassis. The tabs for the fenders are already on in this footage here. We're kind of working on the forward mounts for the center bodywork. Made sure to include some slots in those tabs, just so that when we have the bodywork actually installed, we have some adjustability. You're not trying to fight the plastic, you're not straining it. My fear is going down a gravel road that one of them's just going to separate and be run over by the truck behind it, trying to film. So whatever we can do to kind of allow some wiggle room and sort of shim the panels in place, I think it's going to help. Y'all already know that we 3D printed most of these panels. I don't know if I would ever 3D print bodywork again. There's a lot of work in making fiberglass parts, but having the kind of flexibility that those have over these rigid prints, while also the added strength, just kind of seems worth doing now that I look back at it. But for our prints at least, we're going to bond in some inserts here, trying to dissipate any stress the best we can. And the main body panels are very similar. A couple bonded inserts and some bent aluminum plates. I probably went a little overkill with the sizing on everything here, but in many ways you don't have time to hyperanalyze every single part when there is as much work to do as there is with this car and this project. And once again, on those parts, you can see the mating slots on those as well. But we'll take a minute just to install the fender mounts. And then y'all have pretty much seen what happens when the rest of the front half of the bodywork all comes together. But moving on to the new parts for today, we're going to be focusing on the back half of the Octane. And that's going to start with what these kind of shock blocks / fender support blocks are, as well as some tubing that's going to kind of build up that rear structure. Now all of these parts have been laser cut, and all they really need is a little bit of love from the angle grinder to achieve the final fit that we're looking for. And I was about halfway through filming this when I met a new friend outside the garage. His name is Milk. He now lives above my garage with our other cat, Juice. Milk is a big supporter of Project Octane. But back to the Octane. I may have missed the footage of those tubes being welded while the cats were wrestling. And we're going to move on to those kind of rear fender support blocks. In game, the shocks actually mount up to the bottom of these. But as y'all know, we already have a rolling chassis. We already have our shocks mounted. So the only thing this is really going to do is support the fender and kind of make up some of the aesthetic that the back of the Octane has. you know, in the front, we can kind of 3D print exactly what we needed. In the back, it gets a little bit more, it transitions a little bit more to a sheet metal style construction. And so I'm going to call the part that we're welding here our engine cover support, I guess. It's mostly just going to tie into the surrounding structure and have a couple things mounted to it. Now, after we trim this tubing and touch up the fender support just a little bit, we can get our first look at what the back of the Octane's starting to look like. But I know y'all are really here just to take a look at some of these 3D prints. I'm just going to kind of deburr them with the sander here before we actually assemble those as well. And this part here is our actual engine cover. It's a fairly complex print, to be honest. Sort of simulating where the motor is in the game model. Whereas in our case, it's kind of just going to cover the fuel cell and potentially act as an intake. Now, we're not actually going to be able to mount the rear fenders yet, and we don't have the rear wing installed at the moment. So I swear to God, if someone calls this Project Gizmo or something, I will lose my shit. But overall, really happy with the initial fitment, which means we're actually going to roll into a Bodywork Part 3 in about 2 weeks. But before that video drops, this upcoming week is going to be Major 2 for the RLCS 2025 season, and they're going to be in Raleigh, which is about 2 hours from home here. So we actually are going to be in attendance with the car once again. We've got a custom wrap on it. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to look like yet, but if you're in attendance, definitely follow on YouTube, Twitter, or Discord. We'll post our location, and you can check out the car, get a picture with it, talk to us. It's going to be a good time. For those of you that can't make it to the event, I promise you that Bodywork Part 3 and the event vlog are going to be really good. So just look out for that. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.